And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today I'm talking about a game called Hack Trick. Yes, it sounds like something your dog might do, but Hack Trick is about hacking and bitcoins and blowing up servers, and it's not at all actually about any of those things. It is a two-player abstract strategy game. It has 18 cards, some cubes, and some spaces on the board. That's it. You have to outthink your opponent and try to beat them in what's kind of like a convoluted tic-tac-toe style game. Let me show you. In this game, you're going to win by getting virus markers on the board. If you get 3 in the same server, you'll win the game. If you get 3 in the same region of the world, you win the game. Or if you get 3 along a major axis, you'll win the game. And you'll see the different axi here. Here's the thing. Pretty much any 3 in a row works except for 3 across. So that's how you win. Now, how do you actually get to that point? Well, there's a deck of cards here. These cards go from 0 to 5. There's exactly 3 of each card, so it's an 18-card deck. At the beginning of the game, you're going to randomly take 2 of these cards, and you're going to remove them from the deck, but everyone's going to see what they are. Well, there you go. We know that there's 2 3s not in a deck. So then each player is going to draw 3 cards. One player will draw 4, but they have to pick one of their cards and start it out here. Now, on a player's turn, they have 2 options. They can draw a card into their hand, but you can only do that if you have less than 4 cards. Once you have 4 cards, you cannot do that action anymore. Or you can play a card. When you play a card, you'll play it like this, and it's added. So 4 plus 2 is 6, and that is where I'll put my cube. Maybe the next player then plays a 0. 0 plus 2 is 2, and they'll put a cube here. And then I'll play a 2 here, and I'm going to go to 2, capturing their cube. So if you ever go to a spot where someone else is, you capture a cube. Then they play a 4, and they capture my cube. And then I play a 5. Okay, well, that's not very helpful at all in this situation. They play a 4, again, capturing my cube. And it goes back and forth until someone wins. You cannot play the same number that's already been played. You also know what numbers have been played. I know, for example, no more 4s can be played when I play my next one. So maybe in my next one here, I'll play a 3 on the 7, and I know for a fact that no one else can go in the 7 because there's no more 4s left, and in fact there's no more 3s left. So I also know that the 6 can't be played here at this point. If you run out of cards here, you'll just leave the last card, shuffle the rest, and keep drawing. Now, you also have a few extra bonus actions. You can pay one of your own markers, removing it from the game. Realize that removing a marker from the game gives you fewer markers and you may not be able to win. But you can do that to force your opponent to play a card on their next turn. Or you can play one, that's called a hack. Or you can play one as a firewire, which basically says your firewall, your opponent cannot force you to play a card on your next turn. If you capture your opponent's ones, you can get rid of these to cause your opponent to tell you the sum total of cards in your hand. That's a spying action. So you just pay those, and those go back to the box. At the beginning of the game, each player is also going to announce the sum total of cards in their hand. So here I would say 5, for example. And again, using the cards that are out there, you can figure out what people have in their hands, and you'll go back and forth. Now you can play match play. To the first person to 3 points is the winner. You use these bitcoins here as the first person to get 3 of them wins. And that's where these big cubes matter. You've probably been wondering about them. If you win, they're just like a normal one, but if you win with a row and it includes your big one and it wasn't the last one you placed, you'll get 2 of these. So just a more dangerous area. That's how you play. Okay, so it's just yellow and purple cubes, really. I mean, the cards are cool, and the board here folds up and goes into the box. It's not that complex of a game. The cards themselves are all, they have slightly different fingers on them, I guess, to tell the difference here as they move things around. But this is not a game you're playing because of the components. This is a game you're playing because of the game itself. So let's talk about that. Hat Trick is from Mind Fitness Games, and that works because it is a mind-boggling game. This game, I played it, and I played it, and I played it, and I played it. I played it many times saying, okay, hang on, let me try one more time, because it's a really fast game. And you sit there and you say, okay, I know what my opponent has, so if I play this, now I was just playing cards randomly in the game that I was showing you, not very strategic there at all. But I'm sitting there going, okay, if I play this, I'm setting them up to take this number. Now they might have that card in their hand, because you can count the cards, and it's not ooh, I have to count all the cards. There's 18 cards. If I see 2 5s out there and I don't have a 5 and there's 2 cards in the draw pile and my opponent might have the 5, there's a good chance they have the 5. So if I don't want them to go to 7, I better not play a 2 on my turn. And as you play a card, you're thinking about where it helps me go and how it helps set up the next person. Now, also paying a cube to force your opponent to play a card can be used that's a neat thing. Now, I'm not a real big fan of the fact that there's a firewall. You can play it to keep your opponent from forcing you to play a card. I get why they put that in the game, but it's such a convoluted thing to teach. This game's super simple, and those 2 rules, every time I teach them, people are like, what, huh? Now, discarding your opponent's cube to force them to tell the sum of their hand, that's great, that works well. And the whole thing is just that it plays smoothly, but it is not intuitive. Not that I found anyway. That doesn't mean I don't like it. I do. I enjoy this one. It has a cool, fun hackers theme, with the artwork and all, but it's just this, again, it's like tic-tac-toe. I'm sitting there going, if I do this, I can go there, and I've seen wins in all ones. Wins in a region, wins on an axis, and 3 in the same spot. I've seen all 3 won. And because the rules allow you to pretty much play or draw a card, they're not complicated. And I think that some people might say doesn't seem to be any strategy there, but there really is. I really think I would beat someone who hasn't played before, although maybe I'm not very good at the game either. It's just intriguing how this game kind of fits back and forth. A few small pieces making a very good 2-player game. It is not everyone's cup of tea. Not everyone I played it with enjoyed it. A lot of people just found it too obtuse, I think. But I had a lot of fun with it, so it's one that I would recommend. Hat Trick. Dice Tower Judgment, approved!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!